No, I've got huge respect for MegD. He is such a methodical tactician.
I was a frame away of putting MegD in top 3 for my predictions. A frame, but I couldn't do it. It was just it's too volatile. It was too volatile for me. But I just want to let everybody know that even though it's not my prediction, and I'll eat my predictions being wrong, I think there's a very strong possibility that MegD gets out of pools and upsets one of the 3 that we have in top 3, the big 3 from each region. I think that he could do it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw MegD stepping on the gas there, going for that side signature over the corner. He wanted to take Neeze down in like 20 seconds. Neeze was able to fight his way back onto stage, and now we're just boxing back and forth.
Yeah, Neeze dropping a downlight combo there, finds the sidelight, no dash jump side air, and there's that gravity cancel D-light Sarah that we talked about. Neeze will, I actually think that it's like in his blood to not downlight on the ground. He just can't, he doesn't like it. And it's fine, because it feels cooler when you hit the gravity cancel, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, gravity cancel sidelight comes through. Doesn't hit. Sideline recovery will, though, and MegD goes down on that first stock in game 1.
Okay, but not a huge difference in damage here. You know, MegD was able to bring him into the deep orange, early red. So not too far from, even went for the optimal there. Downlight, and was able to go for the neutral heavy right there since he was on the platform, hit the downlight a little bit low.
Oh, D-light ground pound, tries to go for the pivot nair right afterwards, and Neeze running away with the lead here. End light from MegD will put Neeze off the side of the stage, but can he get the edge guard? Does get the end sig as he drifts down, and that was good. It covered if he landed on the platform or if he didn't. It was just a really well placed.
Perfect placement, great timing on the pivot. Knew exactly where to cover best.
Falls with the neutral light. MegD goes in for that Sarah sidelight near to the hit, and then falling down here to ground pound, double ground pound. Neeze was the weapon throw.
And the bonk!
And it was off of him ricocheting and off the side of the wall too to get that perfect angle where MegD wasn't ready for it. And just like that, MegD's stock is deleted.
Yeah, and now this is a massive lead for Neeze in game 1.
Oh, and so we didn't really talk about the possibility of what MegD does if he goes down really hard in a game or 2. I don't think MegD changes the character that he picks, but this is a uncharacteristic for me at least to be able to see MegD losing these offstage interactions as hard as he's been doing against Neeze.
Do you think there would ever be a world where Radish sends him a DM and is like, go Petra?
For me. Yeah, maybe. But I don't know if he would actually listen in that world. That's the second question.
It's like, how anime is this world? Is it anime protagonist friendship power? That could be the no, it's not gonna happen.
Maybe. It's close. It's too close to call. We'll have to find out. It'll be exciting either way.
Right now, Neeze still holding on to this stock lead. MegD trying to fight his way back. Hasn't taken too much damage. Has Neeze primed for the knockout, but right now, Neeze just has so much stage control.
Nair, gravity cancel on, like goes to the weapon throw to force MegD down. Try to get the ground pound as a read. And while it doesn't hit, that neutral stick will knock out. Okay, that's 2 N6 for MegD, and that's how he's been having to anti-air Neeze in a lot of these situations, but this is so tough. But look at that, Neeze just going right in. Sidelights him twice. It's 3 times. Do it again. Weapon throw. Gravity cancel sidelight. Neeze. No.
So close.
Didn't do it for the memes. You know, it would have been the worst possible thing that he could have ever done was go for the 4th sidelight there, and yet I'm still upset. It's like, come on. He took that entire stock off of 3 sidelights.
If you're going for it, just go full bore.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why it was bad is because if he went over there and he missed, his dodge would be gone, he'd get hit, and then MegD would get a chase dodge, and he'd possibly lose the game. But if he hit it, MegD, I can't even say his mental would be exploded because MegD's actually got like the best mental in the business. I mean,
True.
Nothing shakes this man. So actually, it was just optimal. Neeze getting the first game there. And is on his way towards that 3-1 victory that you're looking for. Possibly.
Yeah, and I think it is very important, if we're going to see that, for Neeze to have taken game 1. Yeah. He's got to dictate the tempo. He's got to set the expectation, set the marching orders, really.
And he's been doing a very good job of it. I think Neeze has been probably the least scared of MegD that I've ever seen a player in my life. He's been just putting MegD on an uncomfortable positions the entire time. And the fact that I'm saying that is like really tough thing to be able to do here, and he's just ready for this matchup entirely. Falls in with that side air. MegD does have a damaged lead, however, in this game number 2, and he may have just made the adaptation that he needed to be able to win this game 2 here. Side stick could possibly come out. Let's see what he's going to go for. Oh, tried to go for recovery and just got stopped off at the unarmed neutral light instead.
Yeah, damage evening up here. I absolutely do love these falling neutral airs that MegD does. He always leads with that edge where the slash starts so that way you can hit them on the ground. And I don't know, it's great. It catches jumps, it catches the landings. Just really versatile option that he uses more than most other players.
Gets a dash jump side air, and Neeze manages to steal away the lead for game number 2. MegD is not able to close out that stock. He had like an edge guard opportunity. Neeze made it back, and then he just hit him with a lot of little one-hit moves here and there until the sider comes through, and now that side light opens up a little bit of extra credit for Neeze. Let's see what he can do. MegD does go for that falling recovery in the same style that you were talking about with those nairs. Same concept, just a stronger hit that's going to knock out.
I mean, he was looking for the knockout. He had to fight back. Couldn't afford to get the extra credit after already being down a game.
Man, he's fearless with the unarmed. A little too fearless. Takes 3 airs to a ground pound. MegD can get the edge guard, goes for the weapon throw, does hit Neeze, sweating. Oh, can he kind of... Oh, I thought he was going to catch the landing with downlight, but he goes for side light instead. A little hesitant there on the draw, and Neeze makes it back, but only after taking a ton of damage from MegD's gauntlet.
Oh! I guess Neeze doesn't need to grab to cancel it if it's already up on a platform.
Yeah, that was a very quick pivot downlight. That was snappy. Sarah's from MegD though. Edge guard opportunity. Can he babysit this? Gravity cancel end.
Beautiful.
And the best position to be able to get that end sig there for sure. That was fantastic. Making sure not to pivot it, gets the angle, but then because Val end sig when it hits, it goes the opposite way. You get the actual edge guard while facing the stage.
Yeah, and he had it so that way the tip of it, if he missed, was still going to get him like right up on top of the platform. So that way, you know, he wouldn't get ground pounded in between.
Oh, falls to the end light, gets the recovery. Double recovery. Thought he was going to go for the third, and the gravity cancel side light. Okay, so Neeze is now, his aggressiveness, his impatience here is getting caught by a lot of these counter hits from MegD, and it's looking rough. He's in orange already. He was able to bring it back on that first stock, but ever since then he hasn't taken another, and MegD with that end light at the edge of the stage could get an edge guard here after dodging that weapon throw. So well played. Nice reaction to that ground pound. Neeze kind of surprised me.
Oh, MegD going out wide, and yep, just get him to expend the options, catch the landing. A little bit of punish, yes, side light recovery sealed the deal.
MegD spacing off of that side zig. He used
perfection.
That was just perfectly outspaced on one side or the other, and then the side light recovery to be able to punish the fact that was it a gravity cancel side zig to the stage? I don't recall. Whatever the case was, he didn't dodge out of the recovery after the side light, and MegD takes a dominant game 2.
Man, dominant. 2-stock lead, game 2, momentum completely broken.
All off the sword as well. Neeze just wasn't able to get anything started. Neeze did almost as much damage unarmed as he did with gauntlets.
Oof.
And
yeah, that stock 2 was real
He has
quick.
been succeeding a lot with getting these wake-up end lights and nairs, and sometimes when there's a weapon spawn, he'll like sidelight him once, wait a little bit, see the dodge in, go for the end light right afterwards. But MegD's been fine eating that damage because he's only eating that damage when it comes to unarmed. This is going to be Neeze's turn to make an adjustment, because I think MegD played through game 1, saw how Neeze was, what Neeze's game plan was, how he was playing aggressively, got the counter hits down, and now MegD's full swing comfortably into his game plan here. And now it's all on Neeze to be able to make that adjustment. And now it's like, can he do it with his character, or does he have to switch characters to be able to?
Yeah, and that kind of adjustment is, I think, a big part of why you were talking about this usually going to game 5 for MegD, because he is a highly adaptable player.
Yes, it's what's so terrifying about him. I think in the way that Godly will switch as many characters as he needs to find the answer for the opponent that he's losing to, MegD will change the way that he's playing for as many times as he needs to so that he can be comfortable, right? Like, and he'll just do it all on Val. Doesn't matter. He's so good at that mid-set adaptation. He just he has to do it in between games rather than during the middle of the game, and that's the one weakness that I feel like MegD has.
Ah, okay. I mean, I do love watching it just because it's like he approaches every match like the player is a puzzle to solve.
Yeah, and
he will go through those steps.
It's hard to do, and it's a very curious single-player mentality that some fighting game players have in certain places that work for them in some places and doesn't in others. But for MegD, it's really succeeding here in this set against Neeze. Neeze trying to bring back this deficit so far as MegD looks up for a pickup recovery, avoids that silent recovery from Neeze, and tries to get the anti-air end sig once again. Nice dodge. Can he get it? Oh, doesn't get to the landing on the downlight, and Neeze manages to make it out.
Ooh, again, MegD just outpacing. You know, he just kind of does that little trot jog in front of them to make sure he maintains perfect spacing at all times for the best punish.
I'm realizing the way that Neeze is playing is that, like, if he's in proximity of MegD, he is just swinging. He doesn't care what he has. He gets close enough, and he's like, oh, I'm close enough to hit you, I'm going to unarm sidelight. And MegD has actually been spacing around that quite well. There's the gravity cancel D-line recovery, though, from Neeze, in a very counter-hit style, actually, where he caught MegD approaching at the edge, and Neeze jumps off the side, gets the max range on that downlight, gets the knockout off the top. But we saw this in game 2 as well, right? Neeze had a deficit, barely took the first stock, and then never took a stock again. So let's see if Neeze can make up for that going into this game 3. Not a good start.
Yeah, I mean, just immediately back to dead even.
Yeah, this is what happened last time, and then MegD ran away with it. But Neeze opening up with the sword. Gets a good few swings there on the end light. Let's see what else he can do.
Ooh, again, a little of that do-si-do, dash forward, dash back, down light for the punish. MegD looking for extra dunks, trying to bounce him off the stage as many times as possible. Basketball dribbles, they hurt.
Yeah, it hurts. It turns out being the ball is not actually that fun. Yeah, it is rough, and gauntlets are very good at doing that. Sword as well, though. We see that Darren Nair dribble combo there. Gets the downlight slider to put MegD up the left side of the stage, but Neeze heavily damaged, disarmed after that end light connects, and MegD looking for the end sig possibly? No. Gets punched out of the way. Can he get this landing? He can't, and Neeze stares him off the right side of the stage. It's close here for game 3. Falling there from MegD. You've been talking about it this entire set, and we're seeing it succeed so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of his premier options. Oh, went for the signature there.
And Neeze spot dodged it boldly, right? Recovery comes through, and he does get the knockout off the top, but still, Neeze has got his wits about him if he's spot dodging a side stick at the tail end of the move.
MegD juggle for weapon starve and decides to stick with the sword.
Cover throw on the end light, gets the side air. Oh, and MegD, these small extra credit leads are the hardest to come back. Oh, that dash,
man.
The chase dodge pivot nair after the
slick.
end light, he's so good at it. MegD's got so many of these small little follow-ups that tags on more damage that really does, I feel like, it does more mental chip damage than it does, but it's also chipping away at your health as well. Side stick finally comes through from Neeze. And this is the closest, I think it's the closest that we've had so far.
Yeah, Neeze really did run away with the end of game 1. MegD had such a dominant game 2. So here they're really starting to get the pace for each other.
Yes, and that's what's making this set so difficult for Paul. Neeze showing that he can adapt just as well as MegD, although MegD is keeping it close from the game plan that worked out in the previous game. Does avoid that down air there because of the platform and that side light. Just dashing back, watching as Neeze follows him, realizing that Neeze is really just kind of pushing forward, holding that W key, rather than, dashing back and forward.
And what's interesting is, you aren't really going to be able to chase him down that well. You will maintain whatever distance you have, because this is a mirror match. They're playing the same character and the same stance.
Yes. Yeah, you literally cannot be faster. You'll be moving at the same rate, and that falling sider could be the edge guard here for MegD. Downlight recovery would knock out, I think. He looks for the side stick, and a D-light recovery from Neeze comes through. Weapon spawns in, but that's going to be it. MegD brings it to match point, 2-1.
Oh man. So is this where Neeze starts looking at other options?
It might be. He's going to take a moment to look at that last game, because I think while he made the adaptation, once it came to last stock against MegD, it crumbled. It really did. Neeze was holding his own for stocks 1 and 2, but it is a test of endurance when you're fighting against MegD. And MegD was just able to hold out there, and now it's match point, and Neeze is really considering what he wants to be able to do against him. Because I think... And I think if he changes his character, because of that mid-set adaptation rule that I in my head am just manifesting for MegD, which is that he can't do it in the middle of the game, we'll probably go to game 5, and then whatever Neeze won with MegD will then be. That's what I'm imagining is going to happen here. Now, what he locks in, that's going to be the question.
What would be kind of interesting is, I wonder if there's some factor of MegD's perfect spacing that has been like absolutely pixel perfect down to the millimeter. Is that due to because Neeze is playing his main legend?
Interesting.
So MegD knows those distances so perfectly well. They're ingrained in his soul.
Oh, well, that familiarity is definitely gone now, because Neeze has brought out that break glass in case of emergency pick that he loves to pull out of the Royale so much. It's the Mordex coming out from Neeze, Gauntlets and Scythe. But guess where we've gone? He's avoided this stage the entire set. It's MegD's home field. It's Demon Island. Is it going to be enough to be able to win here? Let's find out. Neeze opening up strong, however, on the side.
Yeah, I mean, he went for all of it. Spent every option, full sweat beads, just to try and accelerate this lead that he's finding.
All right, falls with down air. Can he get anything else? Neeze hits him with that side air. Gauntlets are being picked up. And that air comes through, but he gets pummeled off the side of the stage. Oh, he tried to go for, I guess, a pickup end light, and he misses the weapon as it comes back down, and now MegD's weapon starving him. Weapons being juggled. The starve continues, TWK. Neeze just fights through unarmed and actually succeeds. Oh! Is that the stock?
Downlight side, yeah, just enough to score it at the 1 minute mark. MegD stock lead, set lead.
Yeah.
Man, he's got to fight his way back here.
I mean, Neeze is still doing pretty well here. It was on the site that he was getting the bulk of his damage, but that's the issue whenever it comes to playing with Mordex, I feel like, is that sometimes both of your weapons having that much difficulty getting in your guaranteed knockouts, and Neeze does get that recovery. Although it wasn't guaranteed, it was a really huge call-out and a very necessary one because MegD was doing a ton of damage.
So there was something interesting happening there where MegD was still doing that kind of like, hey, I'm going to maintain distance and outpace you. And Neeze, he's like, oh man, I'm on these gauntlets, they're real short range.
Yeah.
My longest range thing is that downlight. It does have that splash in front, but MegD is actually just straight up on a faster legend now.
He is.
It's like Neeze gave up some of his speed in switching to Mordex.
Yeah, but Neeze just also increased his string potential a ton if he's able to get a successful dodge. Let's see if he's able to do anything with that, though. Sidestick does get punished. Darren in there, but he dodges straight up, avoids it. Neeze looking for another starter. Sidelight punished by Dare. Side air off the dribble. Edge guard possibly. MegD loves to go for the side six here on Demon Island because it covers the entire wall, but he doesn't have an opportunity there against Neeze, and the recovery will bring Neeze down to his... It's his set stock, right? He's got to win with this stock here to be able to stay in the set.
Yeah, and MegD's got, you know, a stock and a half lead going here. Like, there's a stock and a half still to cut through of MegD. There's one stock to cut through of Neeze.
Sidelight and air.
It's a little bit rough.
Oh, and another recovery comes through. It's just like that. Neeze has got half a stock to work with after all that damage. Dare, the recovery is not going to connect. Weapon throw recovery is not going to do it. Silent recovery hits, but he dipped down a little too low to be able to get the knockout at the top of Demon Island. And MegD still holds on. Could get way more damage after that doesn't knock out.
All right, so now Neeze on the longer range weapon of the two.
No dodge. Delay ground pound. Doesn't want to risk it. He's unarmed versus gauntlets. Reversal potential there was too strong. Oh, he can still do it. Okay, beautiful. He gets that stock here. This is a game 5 potential. He's got to have that scythe coming over there and then get maybe a little bit of a weapon starve onto MegD. Let's see if it's ideal here. Onan coming through. Does pick up the sword and immediately pick up Endlight. Oh, that's not a great start for Neeze, and those falling nares are just destroying him.
Yeah, it's just so much coverage. He hasn't been able to nail down MegD, even though MegD always returns to the ground. Neeze wants to bring him into the air for the strings.
Recovery hits.
Oh man,
this
is really flying away from him.
Neeze tries to get back to the stage, falls down with that weapon throw. Another weapon throw comes forward, but MegD just refreshes his sword. Neeze looking for something, and the Endlight doesn't have longer range of the sword. Go figure. Sarah hits him with that weapon throw, forces the dodge. This is going to be it. MegD doesn't risk the edge guard. Sidelight doesn't get the recovery, and Neeze holds on for dear life. Endlight hits. Oh, that nair's almost knocking out.
Neeze has like one, maybe two more chances here.
I mean, yeah, against like Sword Nair, maybe. Anything else hits. He's going for the recovery. Unarmed recovery hits, and MegD gets the end sing, and that's more than enough to beat Neeze 3-1 and give MegD a victory. Starting off what could potentially be a win streak here at the Royale.
Man, oh man, great performance. The adjustment after each game, MegD just finding the answers, really buckling down onto him.